Welcome to next lecture, and today we'll go for the atomic absorption spectroscopy part 3. Okay, so today we'll complete this or conclude this one. So here what we learned from the previous video, that there will be sample will be there which is in the liquid form. Then it is going to be heated atomizer. Okay, so you are going to use the atomizer here where you are converting your the sample in the vapor state, and when in the vapor state you are having your the atoms, okay, in the excited state here, okay, excited state here, and you are having the atoms ground state in the ground state. These two conditions will be there in the vapor. Now what you do, if it is in the ground state, okay, if the atoms is in the ground state, it is going to absorb the radiations, okay, whatever the radiations you are going to give is going to absorb. That's why in the ground state we call it as atomic absorption spectroscopy. But if it is an excited state, while coming down it is going to emit it radiation, and when we are analyzing this we call it as a atomic emission spectroscopy. Okay, because one student asked me in the previous video that AES, yeah, AES and AES we used. So AES nothing but atomic absorption spectroscopy, or ICP. One more technique is that is induced coupled plasma technique. Okay, this is what we have learned in the previous video, but this is not the concerned part of us. So in the syllabus you have given this ground state and ground state atoms are going to absorb, and that study we call it as a AS, atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, and here what we are what we are doing is calculating the total amount of, okay, total amount of electromagnetic radiations absorbed by the atom. This is very much important, and it is given at a particular wavelength. This is the fixed here at a particular wavelength, wavelength, which is given by pi e raised to e square divided by mc into nef. This is how, okay, so this is given. So that is what the total amount of electromagnetic radiations absorbed by the atoms at a particular wavelength is given by this, where the E is nothing but electronic charge electronic charge here, and m is mass of the atom. This is a mass, okay, and c is velocity of the electromagnetic radiation, and is given by 2.998 into 10 to the power of 10 centimeter per second. Okay, so this is what about the c, velocity of electromagnetic radiation, and n is nothing but your number of atoms, okay, and f is your oscillation frequency, okay, oscillator frequency. So this is how, when you calculate this formula using this the data, then you are going to see that the total amount of electromagnetic radiation absorbed by the atom is calculated. Now how it is done? It is done by the table here. For example, serial number I will take it here, element you should note this, then the lambda, wavelength, nanometer, and LOD is nothing but limiting detection, limits of detection. So I will write here limit of detection. This is very much required whenever you will perform the experiment here. Now if I go for element, so you can take at gold, some they will do mercury, they will do, then silver they will do, uranium they will do, calcium, sodium, okay, then copper, okay, so like this, potassium. So like this they use the elements, and the wavelength for the concerned gold it is 243 nanometer, then mercury it is 254 nanometer, then silver it is 328 nanometer, uranium it is 358 nanometer, calcium 423 nanometer, sodium as we did in the yesterday's video 589 nanometer, okay, then copper, sodium, potassium 767 okay, and copper around 325 nanometer, like this. Okay, so this is how particular element and its particular wavelength is there, in which they are going to absorb and get excited. So this is what, and the limit of detection you can see for copper, it is in microgram per liter, okay, per ml. So this is what microgram per ml limit of detection is calculated. So for gold it is 0.009, very less quantity can be detected here. Then mercury it is 0.160, okay, then silver you can see it is 0.002 limit of detection uranium is highest here, 39. Okay, so highest limit of detection will be for the uranium. So this is how you have to keep in the mind. Okay, so for CET level questions, they may catch this such type of out of box readings here. Okay, again for calcium it is 0.002 limitation is there. Yes, for sodium here again out of box 0.0002 limit of limits, very less here. Okay, 0.0002, so out minus 2. Okay, others are okay, again here 0.002 for calcium, again here for potassium also 0.002 limit of detection can be detected here. Okay. So this is how you have to keep in the mind this one. Okay, this parameter, how it is limit of detection, how the different elements with different wavelength, how it is going to detect. And this, if you see, atomic absorption spectroscope is a wide range of the spectroscopy which can be used very nicely in analytical chemistry. Okay, in analytical chemistry it can be used, in metallurgy it can be used. Okay, in biochemistry it is used more, in biochemical ceramics it is used, in ceramic industry it is used. Okay, in soil, as I said, water detection analysis is used. Okay, like this. So many field is there where the AAS can be used here. So like this I can say. And you can see regarding the what is that instrumental and everything we have learned in the previous video. Okay, so now if you go for the Beer's law, what we have learned regarding the Beer's Beer's law. So there is sometimes a deviation. Okay, so this also you have to keep in the mind, there is deviation from Beer's law. Okay, so usually you can see here, so Beer's law we are going to get in this way, but sometimes there will be deviation, negative deviation will be there like this. Okay, so when this happens here, so because of I said in the previous law, the higher concentration. Okay, higher concentration, when you take it for this one, that is greater than 0.01 molar, so you are going to see that this deviation is going to occur, because when you do such, there will be solute interaction may be there, or solvent interaction may be there, or hydrogen bonding. Okay, hydrogen bonding can affect the analyte environment, so it can affect the analyte environment. So this is very much important here. Okay, and because of which the absorptivity will change, the absorptivity will be affected. Okay, even you can see the RI, refractive index of sample, even the refractive index of the sample changes the absorptivity, and that's why, and it gives the negative deviation. So this all factor is important here, and this all factors will be created with the keeping the concentration high. Okay, that's why always you, when you do the conductometry experiment, always the concentration kept is very low. Okay, the lowest the concentration, the best you can see the graphical presentation we can do. Otherwise you can go for negative deviation, even instrumental also. So if you see the instrumental deviation we call it. Okay, those who are done this conductometry can understand this. Okay, so if you use a source of if you use polychromatic light, polychromatic radiations, then definitely there is a negative deviation. It's not good. Okay, polychromatic radiations is not good for the Beer-Lambert's law. Second is next is was chemical deviation. Okay, so chemical deviation is also possible. So it is because of the chemical reactions. Okay, like yesterday we have seen Fe+3 in the presence of SO4 minus 2 gives lower absorptivity. So that's chemical deviation. Why? It's because of the process, like complex formation, maybe the process complex formation. Okay, sometimes association will be the case, or dissociation will be the case, or solvolysis will be the case, solvolysis may be the case, or sometimes polymerization, or sometimes you can see precipitation, etc. So these all things cause the negative deviation. So this thing you have to keep in the minds. Now even the temperature also is important. A temperature should be normal, optimum. So if you increase the temperature, so that will affect the Beer-Lambert's law. So this also you have to keep in the mind. Now in the previous video we have learned the different derivations. Okay, so we have learned the different derivations, and I have given you each and every equations which is very helpful for the Beer-Lambert's law. For example, if you take one question. Okay, for example, a solution, there is a solution here. If you go for this a solution, so here the transmittance will be 0.1 mole per dm3. Okay, so cell here will be 1 centimeter 1 centimeter cell is 0.5. Okay, is 0.5. Okay, so if we take a solution 1, transmittance of, okay, transmittance of 0.1, transmittance of 0.1 mole dm cube per dm cube of 1 centimeter cell is this much. Now I will take this point B, solution B here. In the solution B, the optical density, that is your absorption, is found to be 0.5 mole per dm cube or per dm cube, measured by using 1 mm of cell. Okay, this is what. And in solution C, okay, the transmittance of this solution is 0.1. Okay, now if this is a case, now how you are going to get the absorbance, how we are going to order the absorbance, whose absorbance will be more. See here this is very this is how the main you can say the AS stands here. If you understand this, that's what I said you, most of the questions in this way will be. Or see, they are transmittance of 0.1 mole per dm cube with cell 1 centimeter cell is 0.5. Transmittance is given. Optical density of 0.05 mole, that's concentration is given, cell is given, OD you have to find. Here transmitter solution is 0.1. So you have to order this in the absorbance here. Now he is asking the absorbance. So this is important, where now in the previous video whatever we solved, the what you say the equations of the Beer-Lambert's law will help you. Okay, so if you take the solution A now, so L is given 1 centimeter, 0.5 transmittance is given. Okay, transmittance 0.5, and absorbance he is asking you. Okay, ABS is how much he is asking you. So this is what you have to do it here. Is it 0.5? Yes, 0.5 is given. Absorbance he is asking. So what you have to see, absorbance is nothing but we are in the previous log of 1 by T. Okay, which is equal to epsilon CL. So this is what we have learnt in the previous this one. So therefore absorbance is equal to log of 1 by T. T he has given in the solution 1. So solution A he has given T to be 0.5 here, transmitters. Okay, so 1 by 0.5 here, so it comes to be around log of 2. So log of 2 is nothing but your 0.301. So we got absorbance here. A is equal to 0.301. Remember here. So absorbance of solution A is 0.301. We got it here. Okay, but one more formula is there. Absorber is equal to epsilon CL. See here. Okay, now we have to calculate epsilon here. So absorbance we got here 0.301 is equal to epsilon into concentrations here. Concentration he has given you, solution 1, just check it, 0.1 mole per dm cube. So into 0.1 into, then thickness is given here, that is your 1 cm. Is it right? So 1 cm cell. Okay, 1 cm. Now if you calculate for epsilon molar coefficient to do it, so you will get something 3.01. See here. So epsilon is 3.01. Absorbance how much? 0.301. This is for solution A. Similarly for solution B now. Now solution B, what is given here? So directly you go for now. Absorbance we got here. So absorbance is equal to, so here it is epsilon CL here. Okay, directly for B solution you go for absorbance is equal to epsilon CL here. So absorbance we got here in the previous, that is your 0.301. 0.301 is equal to, so or epsilon we got it here. Yes, 0.301 into concentration, how much you are given? 0.301. 1 minute. 0.301 into epsilon A is equal to epsilon CL. Is it right? Now A is equal to epsilon we got here. Epsilon we have calculated here 0.301. Yeah, it is okay. Concentration how much he has given here? 0.5. Okay, 0.5 into 0.5 into what is the this he has given here 1 mm. Okay, 0.5 into, just check it here, 0.5 concentration 1 mm, that means 0.1 cm. It's like this you can take it. Okay, and that if you calculate this now, so you will get 0.15 something 05. So A is equal to 0.1505 you are going to get here for solution B. Now if you check it for solution C here, now solution C, if you check it here, so transmitters he has given for solution C here. T of solution is 0.1 he has given. Directly T has given, that's why what we can use the formula A is equal to log of 1 by T. This is a formula. Okay, that's equal to log of 1 by 0.1. So log of 1.51 it comes 10, that is your 1. Okay, so direct formula you can use here. So absorbance we got it here as 1. Now you see, if you want to go for the order here, so which is having the highest optical density here? So you just 0.30 is solution 1, 0.150 is B, C is 1. So C is having the greater optical density here 1, followed by I think this one A, and finally it is your B, like this. Okay, so this is how this formula which we learned in the previous videos will help you in calculating all this in this way. Okay, so you can calculate here somewhat. I was stuck here in this OD of this is 1 mm 0.5 molar B solution. A is equal to epsilon Cl, yeah, definitely. So that is your 0.301 epsilon. Just to calculate this one, I think this epsilon value itself you get it here 0.301. Just you can do it here. 0.301 is absorbance, yeah. 0.301 is absorbance here. 1 minute. So 0.301 is absorbance here is equal to epsilon. Yeah, we have calculated the epsilon value here, which is 0.301. Yes, correct it is. So 0.301 into correct. So 0.301 into concentration 5.5 into millimeter 0.1 centimeter. So yes, definitely you are going to get one correct. Okay, so this is order. So like this you can see that it will help you for the what you say in calculation. These values can help you in calculating this case here. Okay, now if you see, sometimes the length of the what you say this one Kuwait length, path length also is very much important, path length. Okay, and if you see here now, if a Kuwait, I will take it as a Kuwait here of 0.5 centimeter path length, Kuwait of 0.5 centimeter path length, and a solution of 10 to the power of minus 4 molar solution of some species. Okay, of some species. This is a molar solution here of 50% transmittance, 50% transmittance at certain wavelength, 50% transmittance at certain wavelength. Okay, then you have to calculate epsilon, that is molar absorptive, molar extinction coefficient of that species. You have to find out. See, this is also possibilities there. So they have given you the Kuwait here 0.5 cm here has given you, part length he has given you, molar of the solution concentration he has given you, that is your 10 to the power of minus 4 molar solution of that particular species he has given you. Transmittance is how much? 50% transmittance he has given you. He is asking what is the molar extinction coefficient of that species. See. Okay, now what you have, what thing you can do it here. So first you can go for absorbance, that is what, minus 2 minus log of percent T. So this is what in the previous video we have taken. Absorbance can be also derived in this formula, that is absorbance is equal to 2 minus log of percentage T transmittance. So now you can go here, therefore absorbance is equal to 2 minus log of percent transmittance he has given here. So how much it is here? 50%. So you can take it as a 50 here. 50%. Okay, now if you calculate this, so absorbance you are going to get here is 0.301. see here. Okay, 0.301 is the absorbance you are going to get, but he is asking what? He is asking you epsilon coefficient, like this. So next formula is what? So A is equal to epsilon Cl, you know that. Okay, so absorbance we have got here 0.301. 0.301 is equal to epsilon into concentration he has given, that is 10 to the power of minus 4 into thickness he is given 0.5. Is it right? Correct? No? Yes, 0.5. So he has given. Now after this, if you calculate now easily, now it is easy to calculate this by dividing this one. So this you are going to get here, epsilon is 6020 per mole per centimeter. This is your you are going to get that molar extinction coefficient value to be 6020 per mole per centimeter. See. So like this, we should be very careful with whatever I have taken Beer-Lambert's law, and this is what been highlighted in the NET examination, in the CSIR examination. Theoretical parts, principle, application is just a simple concept of the Beer-Lambert's law. Even everybody can digest it. But when such type of problems is asked based on this Beer-Lambert's law and everything, then the students fail in answering the questions, and this is how you have to catch hold of this. Okay, sometimes in pH level also is very much important. Okay, so pH may be acidic in nature. Okay, that is less pH, then pH may be alkaline nature, more pH may be neutral, pH may be neutral, or sometimes pH has is been in the reaction with the water, like this. Okay, so this also is very much dependent. Always you have to see that whenever the low pH is there, so I will take it here, low pH means acidic. So low pH acidic nature is that, therefore they will have negative deviation. This you have to keep in the mind. Okay, whenever pH is less, that is proton concentration is more into the reaction, then it will have the negative deviation. Okay, and if at higher pH will be there, like alkaline here, so they obey Beer's law. Okay, they obey Lewis plan. Neutral we have to see. Okay, neutral also yeah neutral also obey here, that is pH is equal to 7. And but in reaction with water is very important here. Okay, sometimes they give reaction with water, and if during the reaction with water, if there is generation of H plus means what, pH will be less. When pH is less, then what will happen, it will give negative deviation, it will give the negative deviation like this. So sometimes based on the pH also the importance will be given here. Okay, so this is how I think definitely. And even if you see, transmittance is very much important here, as we reckon. So transmittance has always no unit, okay, so this you have to remember. It is in one of the GATE examination he has asked unit. So transmittance has no unit. Okay, pathway is definitely is there, pathway always, now just we solved it, per centimeter they will give or millimeter they will give. Okay, and absorptivity they will give. Okay, so this is having the unit of per mole liter per centimeter, per mole liter per centimeter. So this is a unit for absorptivity. Okay, per mole liter per centimeter. Then solute concentration, you know, solute concentration also has a unit. Okay, solute concentration mole per liter. So this also has the unit, or sometimes specific absorptivity. Okay, so unit for specific absorptivity, that is 1 by concentration liter, that is per mole liter per centimeter. Per mole liter per centimeter is the absorptivity of a specific what is a specific absorptivity. Okay, this is what. Okay, so this is what you have to keep in the mind. And sometimes they ask as what is spectrophotometric analysis for minimum relative error. Okay, they will ask this minimum relative error. So if you draw the graph, now absorbance and concentration we have drawn in the previous so this will be related error, percentage related error. Okay, and here it is a transmittance. Okay, it is a transmittance like this. Okay, if you draw this the graph you are going to get is something like this. Okay, so here that is around, it will come around this part where there is a minimum relative error will be there. So this is just the point where it get minimum here. So this point will come at 15%, and this point where it rises here. Okay, so it comes at around 55%. This minimum potential always will be around 37%. Okay, this is asked in one of the examination, so always it will be 37%. Okay, so there is no much depth in this, but in some reference if you go, you will see this. Okay, that is your minimum error, minimum relative error. Okay, remember this minimum relative error. So always it occurs, percentage transmittance is measured here at what, 37%. Okay, 37% transmittance, 37% transmittance like this. Okay, so I think this is more than sufficient. Okay, we have used. And always definitely if pH, as I said here, pH is very much important here. So if you pH, if you don't keep same in all the measurements, then definitely you can see the it will not give, you know, the spectrophotometry fails to give the proper Beer-Lambert's equation or the graph here. So that's why pH is very much important. You have to maintain same pH for all measurements. Okay, other thing, the negative deviations and other thing we have yes, we have dealt it here. I hope that this will be the final point of your atomic absorption spectroscopy AAS. Okay, so whatever is possible is there. So I have taken these concepts in 3 videos. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So video 1 was mix of the stripping voltammetry. I have mixed video 1 with stripping voltammetry, again anodic ASV and CSV along with AAS. That's why it became 2 now extra. Okay, so here I have taken only 30% here. Here it is full 2-3 video, and with this I can say 100% AAS is been dealt. Okay, so in the next video we will go for some another concept of spectroanalytical instruments. Thank you.